Hey YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino beer review. Today you have the Rhino, and we're looking at a beer from a brewery I've never had anything from. I'm not sure how I feel about this, to be honest. This is from Mackinnon Brothers Brewing Company. Again, never had anything from Mackinnon Brothers Brewing. This is 5.8% alcohol. Just looking for Mackinnon Brewing and Distilling. Ooh, they're a distiller as well. They're from Bath, Ontario. Never had anything from them, as I said. I didn't realize they were a distillery as well. And Bath, I don't even know where Bath is. Okay, I'm gonna read the back and then I'll talk about the beer. Bound by brothers, brewed by tradition. Our ancestors settled in... I'm going to turn this off for a second. I see better in the dark. Our ancestors settled in Upper Canada in 1784, and through the generations built a thriving farm. We are the 8th generation farming that parcel of land, and we're continuing the family tradition with a farm-based brewery. There's not many farm-based breweries in Canada, to be honest with you. We select ingredients from our farm for each style of beer we brew, striving to create award-winning recipes that are... I can't even read that because I'm blind as fuck. Emboldened with the taste of rural Canada. McKinnonBrewing.com. So this is an English Pale Ale. This is the 8-man English Pale Ale, and like I said, 5.8% alcohol. Now, because it's in Ontario and it's a Pale Ale, I'm going into this assuming that it's just going to be an Ontario Pale Ale, which is kind of English-esque, but not really English. Now, for an 8-man, anyone that doesn't know what an 8-man is, the 8-man is the last guy in the scrum in rugby. I actually played rugby. I played for my high school, and I played for the Ottawa Scottish. I know I'm Irish, but the Ottawa Irish didn't want me. I was a tight head prop, is what I was. Our lineouts were our hookers. Our hookers' call for lineouts were "fuck the pig, Vaseline." So if the word he yelled out started with F, U, C, or K, it went to the first jumper. T, H, or E went to the second jumper. P, I, G went to the last guy in line, and Vaseline went right to me. Again, I was the tight head prop, so I was the first guy in the line out. So I like this already just because of the rugby take on it. That's basically your stereotypical rugby sweater, the rugby ball. He doesn't have the really short shorts. My rugby shorts have a 1-inch inseam, so like my balls could hang out of them if I didn't wear a good pair of underwear when I played. Beautiful reddish color, hazy. I can see my hand right here, but not past there really. Slightly starting into the mocha hue for the head. It's still white, but it's starting up onto that almost like beige color. A little bit of a snap, crackle, pop. Let's give it a sniff. Not much. A little bit of caramel out of the can. Ooh. Can has caramel, some pear and apple esters. It's an English Pale Ale, so some English yeast can give off those esters. Pear, apple, caramel. And that's it, really. Yeah, it actually does not smell like an Ontario Pale Ale. I'm hoping it doesn't taste like an Ontario Pale Ale, because that's just everywhere. Everyone makes an Ontario Pale Ale. Fucking everyone. Everyone starts up their brewery with an Ontario Pale Ale. Let's drink the beer. Cheers, boys. Okay. It's not an Ontario Pale Ale, but I don't know if I'd say it's really an English Pale Ale either. it has a lot more English Pale Ale characteristics than the Ontario Pale Ales do, which all just call themselves Pale Ales or English Pale Ales, but they're really the Ontario equivalent. So I think this is a hybrid. I think this is a hybrid between the Ontario Pale Ale and the English Pale Ale, and I think that makes me actually kind of like it, because it's slightly different than every other Pale Ale out there. And when I say that, I'm talking Old Tomorrow's to Pale Ale, Mill Street's Tank House Ale, Double Trouble, their Hops and Robbers, the list goes on. I've drank like the LCBO has 36 of them just on their website. Like it's never ending. Let's continue. So medium bodied. You get that dirty mud pie flavoring, that dirty mud pie hoppiness. But unlike Ontario Pale Ales that usually just stop there, there's a little bit of that copper coin taste too, that little bit of sucking a penny. Back end, a little bit of apple esters, a nice little like red delicious ester. And I know some people take apple flavors as off flavors, but that's mostly like green apple and stuff. That's mostly up at the forefront. This is an ester that's just creeping up. It's a yeast ester just creeping up behind the hops. And a nice caramel flavor up at the forefront. This actually is more what I'd expect when I pick up an English. There's just too much light, guys. I'm sorry. I've been up way too late. I need to turn off the light a little bit. I know that's probably not greatest for the lighting there. I just don't even care. Don't even care. Oh, my eyes are so much better now. This is the problem. I need this light on for you guys to see me well. And I like doing the reviews here. But when I do the reviews back here, my eyes just throb. Albino eyes aren't meant to be under fucking fluorescence. More English Pale Ale than I'd expect it to be. Especially with what goes on in Ontario. Not quite like a session Moorish quaffable beer, which is what I think of when I think of an English Pale Ale, but very damn close. This is a really good beer, and it's really invigorating to have something from a brewery I've never had before, from a style that made me think of what I was going to get, and then not quite get that. This is just slightly different than what you can get in Ontario. It is similar, but it's not the same, and that's what it comes down to. Out of 10 on this beer, I'd give this a 7.25. I would actually buy this again. And I know people will be like, you're giving it such praise, and you only give it a 7.25. You got to remember that my marks are not always stylistic. They're not always where I think the beer should be in the style or in the beer world in general. It's kind of a flavor plateau for myself. 7 and up means I would buy it again. The flavor plateau for this beer it's good. I like it. I would buy it again. I would recommend any beer, even if I gave it a 0, I would recommend trying it. But I would say that I didn't like it. This is why I didn't like it. You should go and try it, though, and see if you like it yourself. Now, sometimes I'll give a stylistic mark. There's no reason to this time. It's a good beer. It fits the style. And it's different than what you get in Ontario for the most part. So yeah, 7.25 out of 10 for the Mackinnon Brothers 8-man Pale Ale. English Pale Ale. Thank you guys. Cheers. I have 2 episodes left of Transformers Armada. I was watching it with my son, and then he got bored after like 47 episodes. So I'm going to go watch the last 2. Bye.